So baseball seasons are very, very long. Football seasons are short. Basketball season's kind of the in between, right? So today I thought, why not, for the heck of it, make the Detroit Lions season 256 games long. That is every single week of the NFL season. And honestly, I don't know how this video is going to go. I've done this many times in the past. And every single time we end up getting to the playoffs, or I guess theoretically speaking playoffs, and we'll end up with something stupid like 1,000 players get injured. So I'm going to set everything to auto. I'm going to keep injuries on, by the way. I'm going to set that to 15-minute quarters, and we're just going to see how this goes. So what you're going to see is every single week, the Detroit Lions will play 16 total games. So 8 games on, well, actually they went 8-8, but they play 16 total games, and we're just going to see how many injuries pile up. And it looks like it said 2 new injuries, but I guess the CPU took care of them right away. So yeah, 18 and 14. Okay, so I think what I'm going to have to do here is actually go to injury report here. And so far, only one player has a broken toe and he's out for 4 weeks, which, don't worry, 4 weeks just means 4 games, which when you play 16 in a week, you actually hit that mark very quickly. All right, so we got some more injured players. We got left tackle Taylor Decker, who's out for 6 weeks. Don't worry, that's not much at all. Like, for example, a full ACL tear is usually around 20, around like 50 weeks, I think it is. 50, 60 weeks. No big deal, though, because 50, 60 weeks is simply like, you know, like 3 weeks of the NFL season. People Jones is also hurt, so that's definitely not going to help out a lot. Right now, the Lions are 26 and 22. Now we have even more injuries, I think. No, we don't actually. Wow. Players are actually staying healthy. They played a total of math right there, which is 63 games. I think that's 63 games. 63 games. And so far, not as many players hurt as I expected. I really expected a lot more players injured by this time. But surprisingly enough, even someone like Jared Goff is still sticking around without being injured. All right, so we got some more injuries to look at, but again, not really too crazy. I mean, this is the equivalent of like 9 seasons worth of games. And yet still, we're like actually not having half the team gone. I don't know. Again, the last time I did this, like half the team was injured by the end of the season. It was like insane amount. Okay, so now we got some more key players injured. But again, the problem is because you play 16 games, all of these players come back every single week. So they leave and then they come back. They leave and then they come back. So unless you tear your ACL, you're pretty much staying. You're coming back within a week anyway. So we have Anazone, who's also now hurt. We have Tron Arnold. Gibbs is still injured, but again, all these guys will be back within a week, so it doesn't matter. We are in week 11 now, and we're already over 100 and some odd games. 166 games total. Week 12. All right, so let's just see. Right now, they're currently actually doing pretty good given the circumstances. Given the circumstances, they're doing pretty damn well. Okay, this injury list is starting to pile up a little bit. Like, for example, Brock White right here. Right. Speech impediment. 17 weeks. That means he'll be out for one whole week. He'll be out for 1 week and 1 game. And then he'll be back. So he'll be all good to go, ready to go. Now, the playoffs gets a little broken here, and I'm going to have to stop in week 18 because that's when the playoffs kind of get a little wonky. Just because the only team in the playoffs technically is the Lions, because they're the only team that actually played indirectly. Actually, no, I think the playoffs actually might be normal because all these teams technically have played games. They just haven't played many games. So, for example, going to week 18 here, this should not crash, and it didn't, which is good. We have a wild card weekend, but going into the wild card weekend, these are all the players now that are injured. So, yeah, at least I still got Jared Goff's out for 2 more weeks. And what funny is, now that we're in the playoffs, it's not 16 games, so he's actually out for the wild card and the divisional. Gibbs is out for another week, so oh lordy, yeah, no, that's not going to be great. All right, let's look at stats. Actually, you know what? Let's look at this. So the final thing here, 172 and 100 is not the actual correct number, because the correct number is -84 and 100. Okay, so maybe somehow I messed this up a little bit, because I thought I put, that's 272 games. I was right. Yeah, so 172 and 100 is what they finished with. Wow, they finished with exactly 100 losses. The Giants still found a way to go 0-9. That is actually amazing to me. The Giants still found a way to go 0-9 in the end here. Now, keep in mind, when it comes to stat totals, there are caps for touchdowns, yardage, passing, rushing. Everything is capped. So, for example, 127 is the cap for touchdowns. 16,383 yards is the cap for yards. Same thing with... Okay, so actually, surprisingly enough, we did not hit the cap for rushing touchdowns. But attempts, this is the cap for attempts. So... this is the cap for yardage, for running backs. Tight ends is 255. Touchdowns is 127 across the board, it looks like. And then receiving yards is going to be 8,191 yards is the cap. I wish it was no caps, because why not? Like, just make it as crazy as possible. But yeah, so I'm going to guess that the Lions are going to be first in every single category, as they have played arguably the most games in NFL history ever. Yeah, they're the MVP race. Number 1 offense and number 1 defense. 32nd defense, because they also given up like the most yards humanly possible as well. All right, wild card weekend against the Falcons, and they lose 50-45. That actually is not surprising at all. When you go into the playoffs without a quarterback and, without half your team, you're probably not going to go very far into the playoffs. Falcons did all that Lions did all that just to lose in the first round, bro. Ain't no way. But what I do want to see real fast is I want to see this award thing, because I want to see what this award looks like in the end. Who is the finalist for all the awards? And if you're wondering, yes, we do have the playoff Super Bowl is Bills 49ers. Which, okay. Let's just see how this goes. And it is, everybody says, Bills win. So Lions won offensive player, defensive player, rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year, and MVP. But Mike Tomlin won coach of the year. So shout out to Mike Tomlin. Peace out, guys.